Prepare to set sail, brick fanatics, as we... actually, that's probably not the best turn of phrase, is it, given the whole iceberg thing? Okay, let me try that again. Hey, brick fanatics, get yourself comfortable as we sink into another great... That's not going to work either. All right, look, forget about it. Brick fanatics, today I am reviewing the magnificent 10294 Titanic. A ship as infamous, as historic, and as well known as the RMS Titanic needs no introduction. A seemingly unsinkable ship sunk after hitting an iceberg on its maiden voyage. On that fateful night of April the 14th, 1912, it plunged into the depths of the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean and into the history books forever. A multitude of documentaries, books, and of course a multi-Oscar winning film have all been produced detailing what happened during the tragedy. And now the LEGO Group have paid their own respects to the historic vessel with the release of the largest LEGO model ever produced. To clarify, 10294 Titanic is the largest LEGO set by scale, measuring in at a ludicrous 135 centimetres long, but it's the second largest set by piece count, with a whopping 9,090 pieces required to build this magnificent vessel. Now, a LEGO set of this scale and size is an incredible feat of engineering and design. However, when building at such a scale and with a source material whose own design is fundamentally uniform throughout, will the build experience ultimately leave you with a sinking feeling, or, like Celine Dion's heart, is this one experience that you just want to go on and on? This LEGO Voyage sets sail from the minute you get the enormous box in your hands. It's beautifully designed, with the ship itself gloriously presented on the front. Inside the gigantic box are three smaller boxes, although comparatively speaking, they're still much bigger than most sets on the market. There are 3 instruction manuals in total, and each has a detailed history of the Titanic, as well as some interesting facts about the different areas of the ship, accompanied by some beautiful archival photographs that help set the scene, showing the ship, passengers and crew as they were back in 1912. The Titanic is an epic ship in every sense of the word, and its maiden voyage, although ultimately disastrous, was an epic undertaking. Now, the task at hand, constructing this highly detailed, involved and intricate LEGO model, feels just as epic too. Just watching all of the bags spill out of just one of the 3 boxes at once feels both incredibly exciting and overwhelmingly daunting. The set is split into 3 large sections, which ultimately combine to form one enormous model. The bow and well deck, the middle including 2 of the large funnels, and finally the stern. The first section to tackle is the bow and well deck, which includes the bow, the anchors, the raised well deck, cargo cranes, cargo hatches, and the forward mast. The Titanic's bow is heavily angled towards the front, and to achieve the necessary angles, a large frame is constructed by connecting a number of sizable panel-like sub-assemblies together. Hinge plates are then used to angle them into the correct position. Attaching plates, tiles and bricks to these panels is an incredibly satisfying process, especially as there appear to be very little gaps along the sides and front. There's also hardly any Technic building involved at all, and for a model of this size, it's quite an impressive feat. Right from the off, it's evident that this will be a set that's packed full of interesting, unique and inventive techniques. Tiles and plates are offset onto larger sub-assemblies using black neck brackets. These then slot into place to form a large portion of the upper sides of the ship. Plates are offset using jumper tiles. The bridge is a wonderful design using 1x2 trans black plates to create windows, a technique more suited to an architecture set. And the way the barriers around the bridge are angled using a Technic pin that swivels into place is very smart. It's also quite a surprisingly unconventional build in places. At one point, tiles are slotted into the studs of plates to create guardrails. At another, black string with end studs are held in place using the rims of 1x1 brown plates. Throughout, the build is kept fresh and exciting by constantly mixing up micro-building techniques, such as constructing small cranes or benches or ladders, with elements built at a much larger scale. One minute you'll be constructing gargantuan side panels that go across the entire hull. The next, you'll be building tiny micro anchors using black hot dog pieces. What's quite extraordinary about a Lego model this size is that it's not just the exterior parts that are included, but the interior sections too. Grand staircases, boiler rooms, engine rooms, cabins, and even swimming pools are all built within the massive hull of the Lego Titanic. It's quite an achievement when you think about it, and adds another wonderful layer to the build experience. More than that, a hidden locking mechanism within the staircase allows each hull section to be securely connected together and then pulled apart, allowing for a glimpse inside. A Lego engineering marvel. So I've got the three sections of the model here. There's the bow and the well deck, there's the middle section, and there's the stern. And this is genuinely going to be the first time that I've connected these three sections together to get an overall sense of the scale and size of the finished model. Now, connecting them apparently is incredibly straightforward. There's holes all the way down here, which also line up with the holes on this side too. And this little brick-built device here just simply slides down through the holes and connects the two pieces together. So, after saying it's straightforward and simple, let's see if I'm right. Yes, I am. That is ridiculous how easy and straightforward that is to connect. There's also two Technic axles just down the bottom here that connect in as well, adding a little bit more stability and connection to it. But I mean, look at that. That is not pulling apart at all. And considering the size of it, that is pretty impressive. It also comes out just as easily, so you can get in and look at all those wonderful interior details that are included all the way through the model. So again, the last section should just slot in as easily. Yes, it does. Line up that little brick-built doohickey thing. And there you go. There is RMS Titanic. What an absolute beauty. So to finish, just connect the rigging. You can tighten the rigging. There's a little Technic cog just there that you can tighten the rigging with. And these little hinge things can just lift up as well, adding a bit more tension. But there you go. What an absolute impressive, sizable, magnificent, and frankly beautiful Lego set. I mean, that is just stunning. Wouldn't you agree? Stunning. The slight offset building techniques that are spread throughout are a real masterclass in Lego maths. At one point towards the rear of the ship, tiles are offset, leaving just a fraction of space underneath. It creates a beautifully thin line of tiles that stretches all the way down the sides. A really fantastic technique and finish. It's an almost endless list of brilliant techniques, wonderful part usage, and jaw-dropping design. To mention everything here would be taking away some of the joy of discovery, slightly spoiling the magic of the build. It's not without its challenging moments either. There are a few sections that you'll really need to keep your concentration levels up. But amongst all the fun, there is a moment of reflection and poignancy that suddenly hits you. During the latter stages, you're tasked to construct the lifeboats, and it's at this moment the tragedy of the Titanic starts to sink in. It's a very strange feeling, and one that comes back each time you assemble one of the 20 lifeboats. A Lego model that suddenly stops and makes you contemplate and think about a tragedy is incredibly rare. But in a way, it adds a touch of humanity to this set that's unlike anything that Lego have ever done before. Due to the very nature of the Titanic's design, there's a lot of repetition throughout, but it's done in such a way that it never feels like you're just going through the same steps over and over again. For one stage, you might be required to build one of the 4 large funnels, then concentrate on some of the finer details on the deck, then move on to the interior details, back to some of the exterior detailing, and then finally back to another one of the funnels. In that time, you've probably gone through about 1,000 parts. Plus, having the build constructed in 3 sections allows you to step away for a while before coming back to tackle more. For a set that at first seems like a formidable venture, very quickly becomes a fantastically joyous experience. And that remains right from the very start to the very end. The final model is so well designed that from a distance it doesn't really look like Lego. The bodywork is made entirely of tiles with only a handful of studs that are used to recreate windows. They're at such a scale that from a distance you'd be hard pressed to know they were even Lego. It's more akin to a gigantic Airfix model, complete with all the intricate and highly authentic details, thankfully minus the need for any craggle or paint. The attention to detail is quite astonishing, and you could easily get lost for hours just staring at all the minute elements that are scattered all over the ship. It's a real thing of beauty, majesty and elegance. What starts as an enormous undertaking ends by leaving you with an incredible sense of self-satisfaction. Yes, there are sets that come close to this in terms of piece count, and yes, there are sets that come close to this in terms of scale, but none have come close in terms of the overall satisfaction you'll get from this build. A true titan of the Lego group. There's no denying that this amount of money is an awful lot to spend on anything, let alone one single Lego set. However, this really is an experience that I wish that every Lego fan could get to enjoy. It's obviously not a set that everyone will be able to afford, although seeing as it sells out the minute it goes back in stock speaks volumes about its popularity and prestige. 10294 Titanic is undeniably a stunning set. Everything about this feels special from the minute you have the box in your hands to the moment you place the last brick onto the model. It's intricate, it's highly involved, it's authentic, it's a fitting tribute to the 1,500 plus people that lost their lives on that tragic night, immortalising the ship in brick form forever. But above all of that, it's fun and incredibly enjoyable to put together. The final model feels as grand, as elegant, as majestic as the actual Titanic must have been in real life. Obviously, being one of the largest sets on the market, it's also one of the most expensive, and that will seriously limit the amount of fans who will be able to indulge in the experience, which is a true shame. For those of you who do push the boat out and add this stunning set to your own collection, I'm sure you'll find that there's something about building at this scale that's just so satisfying and awe-inspiring that upon completing, you really will feel like you're king of the world. And there you have it. Please support the work Brick Fanatics does, like bringing you this review, by purchasing your copy of 10294 Titanic using our affiliate links. But be quick, because this thing sets sail from LEGO stores the moment it's put on shelves. Remember, for all your LEGO news, reviews, features and more, head over to brickfanatics.com now. Even better, sign up to the newsletter so you never, ever miss anything LEGO related ever again. I'll see you next time.